And you were talking about parties, 194 of them coming together to make those important decisions. And Minister Molewa says that South Africa is party number one. And what I can tell you is that she's head of the South African delegations at these negotiations. So let's find out from her now exactly what's on the table from a South African perspective. And it's joined now the Minister of Water Affairs, Environment Affairs, Minister Edna Molewa. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much, Peter, and thank you very much to your viewers.
All right, so you're head of delegation, huge responsibility. What will you be negotiating on South Africa's behalf?
We'll just very briefly talk about process and what we'll be standing for. South Africa has formulated its position over months now, consulted with our people to ensure that when we come here, we don't negotiate for the people, but we negotiate with the people. They are on the other side of the road. The civil society as well, business will be here as well. But in the process, we've also ensured that we work with the African continent, China, and the G77 plus China, but also within the basic group. I'm talking about this lengthy consultation process so that we should understand that indeed the position that we are putting is a position that has been agreed upon, and we believe that is shared by these parties that I'm talking about. What is it? In the first instance, we believe that the decisions that we made in Cancun last year, which are very important, must be operationalized. They are not difficult to operationalize. It's issues of ensuring that the adaptation committee, amongst others, is actually finalized here. It's also issues of ensuring that we deal with the issues of capacity building, issues of the technology support, issues of the measuring, review, and verification, those systems that are about transparency. How do parties monitor one another? It's also about the need to establish the Green Climate Fund. So that set of decisions, amongst others, have been finalized. We don't want to open them. We don't want them reopened. Our position is that let's move into Durban. Those who have been working throughout the year must now report, and then we begin operationalization. Secondly, we have political issue. Very hot issue which the whole world is saying, and the team that I'm talking about, G77 plus China, is also saying, let's resolve this matter here in Durban, the Kyoto Protocol second commitment period. We do need to do something about it. First commitment period is ending in December next year. And therefore, we can't have a vacuum, we do believe, as a world. There must be some kind of a legal regime or some kind of a protocol that really takes us as we have been managing our affairs as the Kyoto Protocol parties. But there are those who are saying, no, we are not Kyoto Protocol parties. And there are those who are saying right now, we are actually intending to jump ship like Japan. We need to also recognize, by the way, that this is where the Kyoto Protocol was formulated, in Japan. It's not perhaps meaningful for them. But then we need to say, how do we balance those who are actually the issues of those who are functioning under the convention, so that there's a balance between the operation of the mitigation programs and even the reduction emission, carbon reduction emission of those who are operating under convention and those who are under convention.
I'm going to interrupt you a little bit because we're running out of time. You mentioned carbon emissions. South Africa, people are pointing fingers at us because we're one of biggest users of coal in generating energy. Will you be defending that at this conference?
The first thing to really recognize is that we, as South Africa, and we want to believe any other country, there's no moment when any one of us will actually be able to run away from coal completely. And I'm saying completely, emphasizing completely, because even if we want to use wind energy or the renewables, hydropower and so on, solar and so on, for heavy industries like mining, you will still need that. But what are we talking about here? We're talking about clean coal. We're talking about new technologies in these power stations, by the way, that we're building anew. They are not as the same technology that we used in 1956 or when I was about 3 years old. This is a new technology that we're using, which on its own are actually carbon reducing the technologies that we're going forward. But we are not just sticking to that energy and coal. We're sticking to other renewables. We've already massively, in the whole country, started with this. Even at this COP17, we'll be showcasing some of our major developments that we are doing. And we're not just doing them for COP17. We have embodied them in what our white paper policy, which we have released a few months ago. By the way, consultation on that started 6 years ago coordinated by our scientists, South Africans, everybody else. Our president pronounced this long-term mitigation scenario. Our commitment as South Africa in Copenhagen 2 years ago. We're saying, President, here we are doing it, walking the talk, and we are a responsible citizen of the world.
And that's where we'll leave it. Minister for Water and Environmental Affairs, Ms. Edna Molewa, thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much, Peter, and thank you.